Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hello to everyone. Welcome to Sunday Night Satsang with John and... Oh, Michelle's missing. Yeah, Michelle's not here with me tonight. She's got a headache, unfortunately. So we can send her lots of love and healing for the headache. It's been with her the whole day today. So she just thought she'd take a break tonight. So we can send her lots of love for the healing. But welcome to Sunday Night Satsang, and tonight we're going to be looking at HOPI prophecy. That's a Native American prophecy, and see what they have to say about these times that we're moving through. And it's quite interesting because 12, 13, 14 years ago I was doing talks on the Mayan calendar, and everyone was worried about the end of the world in 2012. And I said, no, it's not the end of the world. It's just a transformation of consciousness which is taking place now. No calendar ended in 2012. They had 18 different calendars, the Mayans did, and none of them ended with 2012. No calendar ends. But there is a transition from one sort of level of consciousness, one world as they spoke about, to a new world. And I used to open those Mayan talks always by reading a poem, a prophecy, from their Hopi Native Americans, and it came back into my awareness the other day. And in fact the newsletter that I sent out on Friday included a link to this prophecy, which is on my website. And so we thought we would just share this prophecy again with everyone tonight, because it does have a lot of wisdom for us as we move through these times. So welcome, thank you for joining us. And just to reiterate, or to say again, that Michelle is not with me tonight. Well, she's here in spirit, but not in physical. She's got a headache, very bad headache she's had the whole day, so she's on the bed tonight. So it's just me. You've just got me tonight. So welcome everyone, and I'd love to know who I'm talking to. So if you can just type up in the comments box where you are watching from, and if you can help us by liking and sharing this, just pressing the like and the share button, and it just gets it out to a broader audience. So that really helps. Thank you to Lisa, and thank you to Stella, and thank you to Merlene. Welcome to everyone. Welcome. So let us just start out tonight, as we always do, by doing the most important work of the whole satsang, and that is to bring ourselves into the here and now, into the present moment. And the word meditation means to have no mind, to go into the space between our thoughts. That's true meditation. It doesn't have to be a formal sitting meditation with candles and incense and saying Om. We can do it throughout our day. But it is also good to do it in a focused way. And together in a group like this is very powerful. There's a good book that says, where two or more are gathered, there I am. And yes, there's more than two of us tonight, and we are gathered here with a single intent, and I would suggest that the single intent is peace, possibly. So that's beautiful, and we will use this energy from this group to send Michelle healing, and to send the earth healing at this time. And I think what the earth, the world, the humanity on the world needs more than anything else is peace. So we'll focus on that in tonight's opening meditation. So welcome. So just settle back in your chairs or your couch or your bed or wherever you're sitting or lying on, and just make sure you're comfortable, good enough cushions with you, and that you're not going to be disturbed. And just gently maybe close your eyes and just bring your awareness into the here and now. Just close your eyes and just withdraw your mind from all other times and all other places, and just become acutely aware of your physical body in this moment. The physical body is always present. In fact, the physical body aligns very quickly to the meditative state. It's our mind, our worrisome, troublesome mind, that battles with meditation. And by dropping our awareness from our heads down to below our shoulders, we connect with that stillness, that innate life that animates the body. And by directly connecting to this energy which we know of as life, That is the meditative state. That is a state that's connected to all that is. And so we drop our awareness into our bodies and connect with our feet on the floor. And in the Native American tradition, they always start their sessions always with a prayer, and they honor the earth beneath their feet. So let's just do that for a moment. In that Native American tradition, we honor Mother Earth, Mother Gaia. She is the source of all of our physical needs. She provides the nutriments through the roots of the trees, which go to the leaves of the trees. And the leaves of the trees give us the oxygen. And the rivers from Mother Earth give us the water. And the soils of Mother Earth provide the nutriments for the plants that we eat, and the animals and the fish and the birds. It all comes from Mother Earth. So let's just say thank you to Mother Gaia. And we honor her with our presence. And above us is Father Sky. And Father Sky is the source of our spirit, the source of energy, of life. And we are the conduit between Mother Earth and Father Sky. We're the sacred creation, the sacred child of the universe. And we have an absolute unique role to play in the unfoldment of all of creation. And in this moment, just this moment now, we become focused in our body. We become focused in our heart as we connect to Mother Earth and Father Sky, and we're in the center. And then we extend our prayer to the east, to the easterly direction, to that direction where we are blessed every morning with the sun rising. And we say thank you. Thank you to that symbol which births newness into our life. And we extend our awareness now to the westerly direction, to the setting sun. And we honor the sun for traversing the sky and for giving us the energy which we need to survive on this planet. We extend our awareness to the northerly direction. In some traditions, that symbolizes the life on earth. The southerly direction symbolizes warmth. And we are in the middle. We're always in the center. Each one of you is at the center of your own universe, and let's honor this centeredness with our awareness, with our sacred attention right now. And let's take in some of that beautiful air that the trees have been producing all day today, the shrubs, all the leaves. Let's take in some of that air and take a deep breath in to your tummy, blowing the tummy up like a big ball, and then that lovely long relaxing breath out. And as you release the breath, release your shoulders and your neck muscles as well. Just let it all go. And take a second very deep breath in, blowing your tummy up like a big ball, drawing the air all the way down, and then that lovely long surrendering breath out as we release all other times and all other places and just surrender to the isness of this moment, here and now. Take a third very deep breath in, once again drawing it down into the belly, just imagining it going to supply the feet, and taking it also up to the top of the head, so you're blowing your whole rib cage out now, and then that beautiful long surrendering breath out. Just sigh it all out, just let it all go. Let all other times or other places, All thoughts, all attachments go in this moment, all worries. And as you breathe out, just smooth your forehead. Just feel those worry lines smoothing away on your forehead. Just see that your eyelids are heavy, that any stresses or worries from your face is just dropping away. And maintain your attention on your breath, but don't try and force it. Don't try and control it. Just allow the breath to come in and out, and maybe bring your awareness to the tip of your nose so that you're aware of the flow of the breath. See if you can pick up the change in temperature between the in-breath and the out-breath, and the out-breath and the in-breath. You might like to, at the same time, just lighten the load on your face by smiling. It takes far less muscles to smile than to frown. And you find that there is a certain lightness that comes into you when you put a smile on your face. Become aware of your tongue. Become aware of where your tongue is resting right now. Ideally, for meditation, it should be maybe slightly behind the front teeth, touching the palate of the mouth at the top. Just relaxed. Relaxing the jaw, easing away any stress or tension that you hold in your jaw. Just let it go. Moving your attention again down the neck, relaxing the neck and the shoulders, moving down to your arms, down your arms to your fingers, and just relaxing your hands, seeing that they're soft. Becoming aware, if you can, of any energy in the palms of your hands. Palms are quite a powerful vortex of healing energy. We know that, when you hurt yourself, you rub your hands on that area. If a child grazes the knee, you put your hands over the knee. There's an immense healing energy in the palms of our hands, and let's just feel this energy. And maybe we'd like to just direct this energy, first of all, to Michelle, just to relieve the headache, to relieve any patterns that block life from flowing smoothly within her and within each one of us, releasing any tension, allowing life to flow freely through all of us. And we take this energy from our hands and we extend it to anyone else in our awareness that we know of that needs healing in this moment. We feel this energy from our hands moving out into the world, directed to those that need healing. And ultimately the word healing means to make whole again, to come back to wholeness. And what is wholeness but love? The journey of healing is the journey back to love. And what is love but a sense of connection with the divine, connection with life? We take this energy from our hands now and we bring it into our own hearts. And we send our own power in our hands into our hearts to heal our own hearts. We bring healing and wholeness and love back into our own hearts. For many people, they spend a lot of their focus on healing those around them. But we do know that the healing starts at home, in our own being, in our own hearts. And we give thanks for this healing. And we radiate this light and this healing now to the whole of mankind, clearing away the darkness, the misperceptions, the fears and the anxieties, the guilt and the anger, the resentment that cloud the minds of so many humans at this time. And we ask for a cleansing to take place on this planet, a cleansing of the darkness of the mind, with his attachment to his thoughts and his beliefs and his preferences and his judgments, that we may once more return to the triumphant homecoming, which is love, back into the beautiful light of love, which is our true inheritance. We surround the earth in a beautiful golden bubble, golden light. And we give thanks for this healing on earth at this time. And now we take a very beautiful deep breath in again with reverence for the trees and the leaves that have supplied this oxygen to us in this moment, filling our whole body with this invigorating life called the breath of life. And we breathe out, just letting everything go, dropping everything. Take a second very deep breath in, again with gratitude, with mindfulness, and that lovely long sigh out, letting it all go. And gently, very gently when you're ready, you may open your eyes and just see how you feel in this moment. How do you feel? A bit more centered, a bit more peaceful. The idea is to come back into that center, the center of the medicine wheel. Come back into the center, which is presence. So welcome everyone. And if some of you joined late and are wondering where Michelle is lying down on the bed. She has a very bad headache tonight, and we sent her love in the beginning of this meditation, so I'm sure her headache will be lifting shortly. But welcome to everyone. You've just got me tonight, unfortunately. So welcome, and those of you who logged in later, if you can just type a comment, tell us where you're from, how you're feeling in this moment. Let us know how you're feeling. And press the like and the share button. Thank you. So there's no astrological update tonight because I'm not the astrologer. What I can tell you is that we've just passed a solar eclipse, and we're now headed back very slowly towards a full moon, which means that right now is a very good time for planting new seeds, because that is what I've been taught is what the new moon is about. To start the new moon, you plant new seeds. So any of you gardeners out there, get into the garden and plant some new plants, but also in our lives. The thoughts and the feelings that we hold now are given extra energy to grow. So over the next few days, be very mindful about the thoughts that you hold and the feelings that you hang on to. And let's rather feed the world that we want rather than the world that we don't want. Because as a percentage, there's probably quite a high percentage of thoughts and feelings at the moment are focused on what we don't want. And they come from a particular basket, and that basket has a label on it, and it's marked fear. Fear is the false evidence appearing real. And if we continually feed that sort of vibration, that frequency, well, we'll end up with the old world. And what we really would like now is a new world to be birthed, a world of clarity, a world of compassion, a world of empathy, a world of caring, a world of community. And that all comes from the basket of thoughts and feelings marked love. Love is a sense of oneness in our awareness. So let's just be very mindful now as we move over this next week as to which thoughts and which feelings we want to plant into the garden of life, because these are being given extra energy at the moment. So let's be mindful of that. And so tonight we're going to be looking at the HOPI prophecy, which, as I mentioned earlier, I used to start all of my Mayan calendar talks with, and we're going to revisit it tonight. And before I go through that poem prophecy, I'd just like to also just touch on quickly, there is a rock, and I think it's in Arizona, it's called Prophecy Rock. And the Native Americans are not too sure exactly who scribed that particular rock, who engraved on it. But it is a story of these times that we're moving through, and it really, we can learn a bit from it, in that it has 3 symbols on it, and they said that those 3 symbols are the symbols of war. So you have the First World War, the Second World War, and then you have the Third World War. And then basically there's a splitting in the path. And you have the high road, so-called high road, and the low road. And those are the roads that we are being faced with at the moment. And those two baskets I mentioned earlier symbolizes those two paths, the path of fear and the path of love. And the Hopi Indians said, well, nothing is definite as to which path mankind will take, but there seems to be a great energy being given to the road of sustainability, which is the road of love, which has a very long, beautiful path ahead, where the path of fear is very short and has a very end date very soon in the future. So those are the two paths that we're on, and I'm going to suggest that the collective consciousness of mankind right now, I think, has reached a stage where we can break through the fear-based vibration that has gripped the earth for thousands of years and possibly step into this new love-based awareness, this community connection, heart-centered living. And that's really what the Hopis were predicting for us. And the Third World War, well, I believe I wrote in my newsletter about a year ago already that I believe we are in the Third World War right now. This is a war of spirit. It's a war of good and evil. It's a war between fear and love. And, in April last year, I wrote a newsletter talking about 3 viruses that are doing the rounds right now. And I said, well, there's the coronavirus. I said, well, it's quite simple. These are the things you need to do to sort out your immune system. Not that difficult. Not the dangerous one, but the second virus, I said, is the fear virus. That's the one that gets spread by the media. It's very contagious, and be careful of that one, because that really does just destroy our immune system. And the third virus, I said, is the love virus. Let's spread the love virus. That we can transmit from one person to another person. I said, that's the one we want to focus on. So that I wrote in April last year, and then shortly after that I also wrote the idea that this is actually a spiritual war that we're in the midst of right now. So let's just see what the Hopi elders have to say. And this is a particular prophecy that came out of Arizona, and it was released on the 8th of June in the year 2000. So that's what, 21 years ago? And let's see how relevant it is to us today. I'm going to read it first all the way through, and then we're going to dissect a little bit. You have been telling the people that this is the 11th hour. Now you must go back and tell the people that this is the hour. In other words, now it was the 11th hour, and now this is the 12th hour. And there are things to be considered. Where are you living? What are you doing? What are your relationships? Are you in right relationship? Where is your water? Know your garden. It is time to speak your truth. Create your community. Be good to each other. And do not look outside yourself for leaders. And then he clasped his hands together and smiled and said, this could be a good time. There is a river flowing very fast. It is so swift, and there are those who will be afraid. And they will try to hold on to the shore. They will feel they're being torn apart and will suffer greatly. Know that the river has a destination. The elders say we must let go of the shore and push off into the middle of the river. And I say, see who is there with you and celebrate. At this time in history, we are to take nothing personally, least of all ourselves. For the time of the lone wolf is over. Gather yourselves together as we are here tonight. Banish the word struggle from your attitude and vocabulary. All that we do now must be done in a sacred manner and in celebration. We are the ones we've been waiting for. Ahoy. Isn't that beautiful? That's really beautiful. I'll post it up on the Facebook page after we finish, and it is also on my website, johnhomewood.net. So let's just go through this and just see what wisdom it has for us. So the first sentence was, you've been telling the people that it's the 11th hour. Now you must go back and tell the people that this is the hour. So back in 2008, 2009, 2010, I was doing the Mind Calendar talks, and I said we're entering a period of possibly 20 to 30 years of transformation. This is not a date on a calendar. This is a whole process of an evolution in human consciousness. And we are now entering into the 12th hour, the midnight. And there are things to be considered. First of all, where are you living? What are you doing? So what does that mean? Why are they asking us that question, where are you living and what are you doing? And I would just suggest that what they're asking us is to be very mindful of our day-to-day living. Where are you living? Are you living in community? Are you living separate, disconnected lives? What are you doing? Is your doing, as Khalil Gibran in The Prophet says, work is love made visible? Is your work an expression of your joy, an expression of your love? Or are you doing it to earn money? Because there's a price to pay for that. If you're working for money, then I'm going to suggest that you are living your lives bound to the basket of fear. If you live for joy and for love, that is celebrating the new earth that's being born. So they warn us here. Or they don't warn us, but they just bring our attention to the fact that where we are living and what we are doing are actually primary to the birthing process of something new. And I know many people are looking at moving out of cities into intentional communities, and I would suggest that is something to look at. And then it goes on to say, what are your relationships? And that I say, well, what are your relationships like to the people around you? Are they based on fear and attachment and need? Or are they based on love? Are they based on you sharing your uniqueness with others? And what is your relationship like with Mother Earth? What is your relationship like with nature? Are you truly embracing these as part of yourselves? Do you see them as separate from you, or do you see them as part of you? Because that is relationship. That is relationship. Are you in right relationship, they ask us here. What is right relationship? Well, it's quite simple to see. Wrong relationship is when we're in a manipulative, taking resources from Mother Earth with no thought of the greater good or the greater whole. Even in our relationships with our maybe our intimate other, are you busy taking from them, or is it a mutual sharing? Are you in right relationship with the divine? What is your relationship like with the divine? Are you asking always for your needs to be met from someone out there somewhere? Or are you in right relationship? And right relationship is again coming back to love. Are you in a love relationship with the divine? The divine that occupies your body. Are you in love with your body? Are you in love with the life that animates the leaves of the trees around you, that animates the grasses and the rocks? Are you in love with the life that animates the animals and the birds around you and the insects? That is right relationship. Then it goes on to say, where is your water, and know your garden? And I think that's very, very apt to these times that we're going through. I believe that there is, well, not I believe it, I can see it, that there is in fact a restriction on the supply chains around the world. It's not just happening in South Africa with our port net. It's happening right around the world. The ports are being blocked at the moment, are being choked around the world for many different reasons. But there is definitely a shortage of food on the horizon. So they're saying, where is your water, and know your garden? And that means become more self-sufficient. Become more self-sufficient. And we're quite lucky where we live in that we've got a spring, a mountain spring just up behind us, and I gather our drinking water from there. And our garden, yes, we have got some lovely vegetables growing in our garden. Not enough to sustain us at this stage, but a fair amount. We're on the path there. So it's just to take the steps in the right direction. And then we move on, and it says it's time to speak your truth. And there are many, many people at the moment not speaking their truth, out of fear generally. And they're urging us to speak our truth. If we can see something that we know to be true, speak it. Don't be scared of censure from your community, from your friends. Speak your truth. Then it says, create your community. And what does it mean by that? Well, we have been, I think, on a path of disconnection for a long time, where we have been disconnected from our community, from our communities. And I suggest that, we have spoken about it a few times before, that rather get back to community, buy local. I know Michelle went and bought some lovely clothes on Saturday from a local dressmaker, whatever you want to call it. She bought beautiful clothes, all made in the area here. And that's supporting your community. Buy from the local little grocer, not from the corporate. Support little projects in your area. Build your community. We all have unique gifts. Give those unique gifts back to the community. That's very important. Building a community. You know, we know the way forward is not going to be through centralized control. That's obviously what is being imposed on the earth at this time. But that communist model has failed around the world, and it's going to fail again. And what really works is small communities. And it's almost like an anarchy, where each person is responsible for their own lives. And we all tend to, when we go through a process of anarchy, it actually, I know it's been demonized in the Western world, but actually those systems have worked very, very well. For example, in 9/11, when people had to get out of Brooklyn across the river, there wasn't any centralized control there. People did. Each one of them did what they could to assist. And millions of people were evacuated without any centralized control. And that is really what anarchy is about. It's about everyone knowing and doing what they know should be done in this moment to moment, without needing someone to tell them what to do. So that's about building your community. And then it says, added to that, it says, be good to each other. I mean, that's obvious. Be good to each other. Be kind, I think. We need to be kind. And even people who don't have the same views as us, be kind to them. Be understanding. We've all got a different perspective. Be kind to each other. Be good to each other, because that opens our hearts. And that feeds the new earth that we want to be born. And then it says, this is an important one, do not look outside of yourself for your leader. And we've been programmed right from school to always look to the teacher, look to the headmaster, look to the doctor, look to someone outside of you. You know, even from a Western traditional religious point of view, you know, we made God something outside of ourselves, and we're always looking to something outside of ourselves. He says, do not look outside of yourself for your leader. And in other words, start taking full responsibility for everything that you do, everything you think. And I believe that when we take responsibility, we become more creative. We really do become more creative. We become more resilient. And what the world needs now is a lot of creativity, a lot of resilience, a lot of community-based projects. Not based on someone telling us what to do, but us doing what we know needs to be done in the moment for the greater good. So going back to Khalil Gibran, the prophet, work is love made visible. So let your doingness come from a place of love rather than a place of need for money or need to have your needs met, even a need for self-aggrandizement, so, you know, for people to notice what you're doing. No, that's not love. Love is just doing what opens your heart, with no thought of reward. You know, I used to work for money many years ago, believe it or not, and it didn't work out too well. I went through 2 insolvencies, and then I thought, well, it's not working terribly well, so let me just change my mind about that. So, and then a number of years ago, I decided, okay, well, then I'm not going to work for money anymore. It hasn't worked out terribly well for me, so I'm going to do what I love doing, and it's God's duty to pay the bills. And I must say that's actually worked far, far better. So the bills tend to get paid, and I love what I do. So working for love is a much better option. And then it says here, he clasped his hands together and smiled and said, this could be a good time. So in other words, this process of transformation needn't be a fearful time. It can be a very good time, a very good time. And I remember having a dream many years ago about going over a waterfall. It was a very profound, profound dream I had of going over this waterfall. And I won't relay the whole dream now, but it was very interesting because after going over the waterfall and finding that I managed to float away unscathed from the waterfall, I then found a group of sort of almost like butterflies when they emerge from the cocoon, and they're in this quiet stage before they're pumping blood into the wings, and about a day later they fly off. And I met a whole group of people, and everyone was sort of congregating with their own soul group. And I realized at that time that humanity is going to go over a waterfall. That was my realization. I'm talking about 20 years ago when I had that realization. And that we can go over that waterfall, kicking and screaming in an absolute terror, or we can go over the waterfall saying, "Whoopee! This is fun." And the choice is ours. The fact that we're going over the waterfall, we're going through this process of massive transformation, not in our hands. But how we go through this process of transformation is within our hands. We can go through in fear or we can go through in love. And the difference is whether you trust life or not. That energy that beats your heart, that energy that digests your food, that energy that repairs a cut or a wound in your body, that energy, when you trust that energy, it'll lead you far, far better than your mind. If you trust your mind, it's a fearful process then. But if you trust life in the present moment to always meet your needs, it works out far, far better. So it can be a good time, it says here. This could be a very good time, a time of connection, a time for getting back to our real values, our real human values of caring and compassion. And then it goes on to say, there is a river flowing very fast and it's so swift, and there are those who will be afraid and they will try to hold on to the shore, and they'll feel they're being torn apart and will suffer greatly. So life is going very quickly at the moment. The flow of the river is the flow of life, and there's a lot of change taking place. In the Mayan calendar, they talked about incremental increases in the flow of time, and that really is what the Mayan calendar was about, the Tzolk'in calendar. And it showed us very clearly that time is being condensed. You know, what you used to take 20 years to go through can take you now just 20 days to go through. So there's this huge speeding up of time. And life, because it's so swift, that there are those who will be afraid. Yeah, there's a lot of fear in the world at the moment. And they will try to hold on to the shore. What is that shore? But that which we cling to in the old world for stability. It can be clinging to a relationship. It can be clinging to a belief pattern. It can be clinging to a retirement policy. It can be clinging to an outmoded career. And these are all the things that we would look to normally under normal circumstances for our security. So let go of that. Because if you're clinging to a rock and the river is moving very fast, you're being battered. And you've got all this debris hitting you and your fingers are bleeding as you grip to the rock. And what they're saying here is let go. Let go of the shore. Let go of all of that, those attachments that we have. Let go of them. Know that the river has a destination, it says. The elders say, we must let go of the shore, push off into the middle of the river. And I say, see who is there with you and celebrate. And so this time, I think, is a realignment of new soul groups. And there are people in your awareness who are drifting out of your soul association. And there are new people coming into your soul association. So look around and see who's actually released their grip off the old world of the shore. See who is trusting life. See who is with you in the middle of this, of the flow of this river, who is actually going with the flow. And celebrate. And celebrate this new connection, this new trust in life. Those who grip onto the shore, it says, they'll feel that they're being torn apart. And there are many people at the moment whose lives do feel that way. Their lives are being torn apart. Their relationships, their careers are being torn apart. Even from a health issue, many people's health is being torn apart. And because they're gripping onto an old way of being, they will suffer greatly, the poem says. And then it moves on. It says, at this time in history, we're to take nothing personally. Boy, that's a big one, because most of us take it all personally, don't we? When something happens to me, we want to understand, why am I being punished? Why is this happening to me? Says the ego, says the mind. And it says here, at this time in history, we take nothing personally, least of all ourselves. I love that. And you know, the Course in Miracles said that if we want peace, forgive. Forgive each moment as it occurs. So if you make a mistake, you make what you think of the wrong choice, forgive yourself. And if someone else makes a mistake, makes the wrong choice, forgive them as well. Forgiveness opens the heart and leads you back to love. Forgiveness. So that's a good one to put in there. They don't mention the word forgiveness, but I'm just mentioning it there. Don't take ourselves seriously. Forgive. You know, if a child does something wrong, I mean, it's easier to forgive them, isn't it? But when an adult does something wrong, boy, we don't want to forgive. We take things so personally. And this is urging us not to take it personally. Let it go. You know, Jesus on the cross a couple of thousand years ago said, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do." And I know a lot of people are focusing a lot of anger and resentment on the people who seem to be directing this planet lockdown at the moment. And I would say forgive them, for they know not what they do. They're disconnected from love. They're disconnected from their true spiritual essence. And they're doing things out of fear, out of control, out of manipulation. Forgive them. They do not know who they are. So forgive them as you would forgive a little child. They're ignorant of their own magnificence. That's why they're doing what they're doing. And then it says, for the moment, when we do take ourselves personally, it says, our spiritual growth comes to a halt. That's quite a big one. When we judge, we block our spiritual transformation. And this is a time of spiritual transformation. This is a time of expanded awareness. So don't judge. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to other people. It says here, this is a very, very beautiful line. It says, the time of the lone wolf is over. And that leads us in a couple of different directions. One of them is the idea, again, of community. Stop seeing yourselves as separate from your fellow human beings. Work in community. Seeing yourself connected to your community. The time of just me and mine is over. Me, mine, and my. Those are the three words that separate us. Me, my needs, my family's needs, my nation's needs, for example. That's over. And the time of the lone wolf is also the time of seeing ourselves disconnected from the divine, from the source, from life itself. And I believe this is a time to reconnect to the sacred essence of life. Sit in the garden, connect with the sacred essence that animates the grass, the leaves, the bees, the butterflies. Connect with that. Don't see yourself separate. You're not separate from the rock or the soil or from the air or the clouds or the river or the sea. You're part of that. The time of seeing yourself separate from the ocean is over. You are a drop of water in the ocean. You're not separate to the ocean. Then the last little paragraph here, it says, gather yourselves together as we are here tonight. And what are we gathered in here? But we're gathered in a satsang, in an intention of peace, of love, of connection, of community, and of sharing this light with the world. So I think we're in alignment with the advice that's been given by the Hopi Indians on June the 8th in the year 2000. Gather yourselves together as we are here tonight. Banish the word struggle from your attitude and vocabulary. I love that. You know, the idea of struggle is to be out of alignment with life. Why struggle? Just surrender to life. Life has a plan for you. Life has a plan for every one of us. The word cosmos, I've mentioned before, means order. There is order in the heavens, in the stars, and we are a manifestation of the stars. So let go of this idea of struggle. All that we do now, they say, must be done in a sacred manner. That's beautiful. Everything you do, you're brushing your teeth. Brush your teeth in a sacred manner. You are taking a bite of food. You're biting into an apple. Do it in a sacred manner. You're making a phone call or typing an email. Do that in a sacred manner. You're speaking to your children or to your parents or to your work colleagues. Do it in a sacred manner. It says all that we do now must be done in a sacred manner. What is a sacred manner? But to see the divine in each and every moment, in each and every form. Underneath the form is the formless. And that formless is sacred. Honor the sacredness. You know, the greeting in the East, in India, Namaste. It means the divine in me honors the divine in you. And say that to everything, everyone. It says, all that we do now must be done in a sacred manner and in celebration. And I believe that the so-called forces of unconsciousness that are, doing what they're doing at the moment on the planet, the kryptonite to all of that is joy. The kryptonite to their unconsciousness is joy, and they know it, because why did they shut down all sources of joy. They shut down the dancing, the partying. They shut down the celebrations, the weddings. They celebrate, they shut down those. They disconnected us because joy is the kryptonite. So we don't need anyone's permission to celebrate. Just celebrate within inside yourself. Celebrate each moment, each connection with each human being that you come across, each animal that you meet. Celebrate. Feel that feeling of joy within you. So they say all that we do now must be done in a sacred manner and in celebration. In other words, evoke the feeling of joy inside you, because that is the light that banishes the darkness. And then, we are the ones we're waiting for. Don't look outside of yourself for your leader, because we are the ones we're waiting for. That's so beautiful. And what are we waiting for? We're waiting for what's called self-realization. What is self-realization? It's to realize the magnificent being that we are in our core. That's what it is. Actually, the realization means to see with real eyes. Take the log out of our eye and to see the magnificence that we really are. The good book says that we are made in the image of and similitude of the divine. We're not in the process of being made. We're not going to be made one day. We are already it. We are already that magnificence. Take the log out of the eye. Take the judgment out of our eyes and see the magnificent, because we are the ones we're waiting for. We are waiting for our own awakening. How about that? And then it ends with ahoy. I'm not too sure what ahoy means, but I should have looked it up. Ahoy. Does anyone know what ahoy means? If you know what ahoy means, type it up in the comments box. I'll be interested to know what ahoy means. But it sounds good anyway. That's where they ended. We are the ones we're waiting for. Ahoy. Well, I hope you found that interesting. It's a beautiful poem. I will post this up on the Facebook page when we finish. It is on my website, johnhomewood.net, and you can go to journeysofawakening.com and have a look there as well. I haven't put it up there yet, but I will. And there's just something I want to end with tonight, and that is just a discussion about a disease that's permeated and permeating the world at this time. So Eckhart Tolle, in his book The New Earth, I think it was, describes a conversation that he read from Carl Jung. And Carl Jung said he met with some indigenous Native Americans, and they told him that there's something wrong with the white man. They said their eyes are cold and piercing, and their faces are grim, and they're always wanting. They're always wanting. And the Native American said to Carl Jung, says, they're mad. They're mad. And is that really the world or the community that we want to buy into? That madness of always looking with piercing eyes, of having a closed heart, and of always wanting. That is a sickness. And the Native Americans give that sickness a name, and they called it wetiko, W-E-T-I-K-O, wetiko. And they said the white man is infected with the wetiko disease. And that's the real disease of the planet at the moment. That is what it is. And what it is, what it means, is when you take more than you need. When you take more than you need to the detriment of your community, that's sickness. And that's a sickness that the Native Americans noticed in the settlers that came to America. They took more than they needed. It doesn't happen in nature. Nature never takes more than it needs. And the indigenous cultures like the Aboriginals or the Bushmen or the Native Americans, they knew how to live in harmony with life, how to live in harmony with the planet. And it was never to take more than you needed. And share. If it's your joy to go out and hunt, go out and hunt. And bring back and share with the group. And that, I think, is working with love. And wetiko, they describe it as when you go out to hunt and you keep what you caught for yourself, because I'm the hunter. I did all the work. I deserve all the meat, they said. And that is a sickness that destroys the culture, destroys the community. And that really is a sickness that mankind has been infected with for the last few hundred years. And it's time now heal ourselves of that malaise. It's time to heal ourselves of the me, mine and my, and to start seeing ourselves as a greater connection, as an us, as an our. Every single one of us is another cell in the body of humanity, and what we do to another, we do to ourselves. It's that realization. And I believe that this poem is telling us to go back to community, go back to the heart, go back to the connection with the divine in all that you meet. Go back to the way, to what's called humanity, to humanity. So I hope you enjoyed this evening. That's all I have to share with you tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to give us some comments, that's excellent. And I would like to end with just a short meditation. If we can just do another short centering before we leave. And just to let you know that we are starting another Journey to Freedom course. That's a 13-week online course, and we do see huge transformation in those 13 weeks. And if you want to join, the first week is free, but we start end of January. So yes, we do have a break over the end of December and the beginning of January, but we will be back with our Journey to Freedom at the end of January. And you can, in fact, go and reserve your place right now. It's at journeysofawakening.com, and you just go under Journey to Freedom, and you can book your place. The first week, absolutely free. You can journey with us with a free week, and after that, you can join if you wish. And the first week is Life Vision. We're going to look at your new year ahead, and lay out some parameters for having a good year. As I said here, this could be a good time. There's absolutely no reason to suffer, no reason to be anxious, no reason to be fearful. This could be a good time. So Journey of Awakening, we start that next one, Journey to Freedom, on the 27th of January next year. So I'm going to, before I start the closing meditation, I'm just going to read the affirmation card that I've chosen for this evening. I am, which is the name of the divine, it's your true name, it's your eternal name. I am, first and foremost, a spiritual being. I surrender to spirit in this moment. Spirit is the energy that animates everything. We're all part of that one ocean. We're all part of that ocean. So I am first and foremost a spiritual being. I surrender to spirit in this moment. And the Christian way of saying that is, not my will be done, but thy will be done. So we align ourselves with the flow of spirit, the flow of life, the flow of the divine, and life becomes much easier when we surrender. So that's the affirmation for tonight. I'm going to put it up on the Facebook page when we finish this evening. I'll photograph it and put it up there. So let's just settle back in our chairs and let's just do a short closing meditation. Closing our eyes. Once again, we withdraw our mind from any stories we're telling ourselves in our heads. We bring our awareness down into our hearts, to the sacred chamber of stillness within us, the seat of life. And we connect to just this moment here and now. For this moment here and now is the most sacred place in all of creation. No other time and no other place is more sacred than this moment, here and now. We honor the breath with our attention. We honor all the sounds from the world around us with our attention. We become aware of any faraway sounds we can hear right now. And as we do that exercise, we notice how much more alert we become when we focused on faraway soft sounds. You have to be present to truly listen. We become aware of where we're seated on the chair, the bed, the floor. We feel that sensation coming into our body right now in this moment. You can only be aware of your body in the present moment, in the here and now. Become aware of your feet. Become aware of your hands. And say thank you to this beautiful, wonderful vehicle which enables us to have the human experience. Sometimes it does manifest blockages in the way of pain or dis-ease, But even if there is any pain or dis-ease in your body right now, say thank you. Thank you. Thank you, because it's actually alerting us to some blockage in the flow of life in this moment. It's not being done to punish us. It's being done to awaken us. All the ailments of the body are just another opportunity to come back to love. Come back in a surrendered way to love. And with our eyes closed, we say this affirmation: I am first and foremost a spiritual being. I surrender to Spirit in this moment. And I'm going to add, as I surrender to Spirit in this moment, I am at peace. I am at peace here and now. And so we intentionally radiate this peace, this surrendered awareness out into the world. We become the light in the world, dispelling all darkness, illuminating the minds of all men, women and children at this time. The light within us illuminates the light in those around us, and we become channels for the Christ essence, which is love, to flow into this world and to heal, to bring back to wholeness, for us to reclaim our divine inheritance, which is peace, which is love. And now in this moment, with that realization, we open our hearts in a joyful way and in celebration, for we are the ones we've been waiting for. Take a deep breath in, long breath out, and release it all. And when you're ready, you may gently open your eyes. And just let us know how you're feeling right now, and if you'd like to help spread the light a little bit, please press the like and the share button. Thank you, God bless, thanks for being with me tonight, and we look forward to catching up with you next Sunday for Sunday Satsang with John, and next week it'll be with Michelle as well. Thank you for being with us. We love you all. Love and blessings. Good night.